This is Vito today.
All right. Welcome to the show. It is Ringside Report. I'm Dave. AJ's here. Freddie is here. We are all here, ready to talk some MMA with you. If you're listening to us on the radio, if you're listening to us on podcast, you can watch this show over on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. We got a lot of MMA to get to over the next hour. Or do we? Are we just going to talk celebrity boxing? Maybe we'll just talk about that Bagel boss guy.
Who doesn't like bagels, Dave?
I love bagels. I love a good bagel. But this is a New York bagel guy, right?
Yeah, it's not the same
New
as
York
Montreal
bagel
bagels.
guy. He's got a big boxing match coming up on Saturday night. And over the next hour, we're going to try and figure out whether we watch UFC Denmark, Copenhagen, Jack Hermanson versus Jared Cannonier.
That'll be a good one.
Or we watch the bagel boss guy, the guy who freaked out in a bagel shop and got into an altercation with a bunch of different people in a bagel shop. If you don't know about that guy, he was a viral sensation, and he's having a celebrity boxing match on Saturday. We touched on it a bit last week, but in the past week, there's been an opponent change. He will now be boxing Dustin Diamond, which is actually the guy's real name, a.k.a. Screech from Saved by the Bell, which is a show that I'm not too familiar with. I never watched the show.
Dave, you're too
I think
young
I'm
for
a
that,
little
man.
too I'm a little too young for that show. But we'll try and figure out. We'll talk about Screech. Maybe we'll talk about Saved by the Smell, his other project, you know.
Screech
But
was always in love with Jackie, I think.
who wasn't? Who wasn't?
But he was such
right?
a geek, Screech.
I mean, she wasn't as good as a Tiffany Amber Thiessen, but Kelly Kapowski. But I mean, she still was cute.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that boxing match and try to figure out what to watch on Saturday night. Do we watch UFC in Denmark, or is that on in the afternoon because it's on in Europe? You know?
yeah,
It's
good
probably in
point.
the afternoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
cool.
an afternoon
So
one.
we'll watch everything. Or do we watch the California
Bellator.
card, which I'm pretty excited about because it's got one of my favorite guys, Gegard Mousasi,
Musalti.
taking on, I love Musalti. I love him when he's super salty. He'll take on Lyoto the Dragon Machida in a rematch from a fight they had a few years ago that Gegard lost by decision, but Gegard was always pretty salty about that fight, always saying that, you know, Machida was on steroids and he tested positive later on for performance-enhancing drugs, and Gegard never trusted that fight, and he's always had some bad words about Lyoto Machida, and they're going to be able to settle those words Saturday night in Inglewood, California. It's going to be on DAZN, so no matter what, you're going to be spending money on a Saturday night to watch some fights. You're either going to watch the Bagel Boss guy take on the Saved by the Bell guy, or you'll have Lyoto Machida taking on Gegard Mousasi. Also, there's a main event there. Patricio Freire taking on Juan Archuleta for the Bellator featherweight title. So, a lot of
hard, man.
options
It's
for a
hard.
fight fan on Saturday night. You're either going to purchase that Bagel fight that's on Fight TV, I think. That's how you buy that. It's like an internet pay-per-view. You could watch the Bellator thing on DAZN. I think UFC Fight Pass is going to be the place to be to watch the Denmark card. So no matter what,
But the Denmark
no
card
matter
is gonna
what,
be free,
you're going to
right?
be spending some money.
No, but it's a free fight night.
What did I just say? Fight Pass.
Yeah, so no, but on fight night, I mean, you'll be able to watch it at
I don't know if it's going to be on TV, that
of course
Denmark.
It's gonna be on television.
Why are you guaranteeing things that you have no idea about?
They always show like the UFC fight
No, they
nights.
don't.
Sure they do, man.
Not in the afternoon.
Either or. It's gonna be a fight-filled weekend, man.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm telling
Once
you
again,
it's
AJ.
on.
AJ starting off the show in fine form, telling people where to watch things, and he's not really sure.
It's gonna be
I
on
know it's
TSN 4, maybe TSN 5. I'm sure it's gonna be on one of them.
AJ's making things up again. He has no facts to back up what he's saying. ESPN Plus will be the place to be in the United States, at least, to watch these fights. They'll probably be on one of the TSNs. There
Yeah,
are-
you say that as if everybody knows TSN. AJ,
Well, here in
we're on
Canada,
the
yeah.
internet. Yeah,
No,
but
you're
we're
right.
on the
Sure.
internet.
That's true.
That's right. You
Wally
know,
doesn't get. You're right. Wally doesn't get TSN.
let's just say they're on ESPN Plus and probably UFC Fight Pass too. Okay?
All right. That's
Keep
fair
it
enough.
simple, AJ, without giving information that's
What you talking
possibly
about, Dave?
wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
Anyways, it's a
You could be possibly right.
2 p.m. start time for UFC Denmark, Saturday afternoon.
And when's the Bagel guy fighting?
It's at night. You know, it's I think
there's going to be
8
about
o'clock or
10
something.
fights on that card or whatnot.
that Bagel fight is really making a lot of noise. Now, he was supposed to fight. Like, this is the fight that I'm most excited about, and I think it says... Well, no, I think Gegard and Lyoto is what I want to see more. Yeah, I'm more interested in that. All right. Let's not get crazy. But I am interested in that Bagel fight.
I mean, I'll watch it because he's become an internet sensation, but I don't know. I'm not that interested. $20. Look, it's $20 to see the Bagel guy, or it's $20 a month also for the Zone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, if I got to put $20 on one of the two, I got to go with Bellator. Come on.
Bellator over Bagel guy.
Oh, of course. Come on.
It's going to be a tough one there, Fred.
Probably.
Machida.
Gegard.
Gegard.
Listen,
yeah.
Bagel guy, Screech from Saved by the Bell. Think.
Now, here's the thing.
That can't go more
Freddie.
than a round. I mean, both guys look in terrible shape. If you ask me.
No. First of all,
look.
let me tell you, Bagel
let me
guy
tell you
has
the rules,
a
'cause
good training camp.
You don't know any facts about this. Let me break
Yeah,
it
it's
down
like
for
a
you.
minute
You're
rounder.
clueless. You have no idea, AJ. Let me tell you the facts, okay? I listened to the Howard Stern show, and that's where-
Howard Stern?
Yeah.
I listen to like Ringside Report.
Yeah, I know. And I listened to the Howard Stern show as well as Ringside Report and Wrestling Uncensored and all the other great shows on the Ringside Report network. But I also listened to Howard Stern, and that's where all the prelude and all
He
the
is pretty
interviews.
cool, Howard Stern, I'll tell you
That's
that.
where all the interviews for this fight have taken place, AJ. If you're paying attention, you would know that, okay?
Listen, I listen to TMZ, man. But go ahead.
So Lenny Dykstra was on the Howard Stern show, and he announced that he's not going to be fighting the Bagel guy. So he was supposed to be fighting the Bagel guy, right? It was supposed to be Lenny Dykstra, former baseball player, versus the angry Bagel guy, Chris Morgan.
You got Saved by the Bell there, I think.
What? So Lenny goes on the Stern show, and he says, I can't do the fight because my lawyers, I'm in some sort of legal battle, and it's an ongoing legal proceeding that's been going on for many years, and I have to focus on that, so I can't do this fight. Why he announces this like 6 days away from the fight is very suspicious.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. I think Lenny's scared, okay? Which is crazy because I thought Lenny would destroy this guy because at least Lenny, even though he's in his dilapidated state, he was a former professional athlete, and this Bagel guy is like 4'11" and has no real fight experience. I don't understand why Lenny actually pulled out of this thing. Maybe because he realized it was beneath him to do, which like tells you how low this is. And of course,
Dave.
you're getting even lower because you have Dustin Diamond, who's famous for playing a character on a show that like even I'm too young to remember, and I'm a grown
yeah.
man. So
No, you're just not cool enough.
Exactly.
no, I don't think that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, I never watched Saved by the Bell. I don't think it was a
Not
cool
even
thing to
Saved
do.
by the Bell, the next generation.
No, I didn't watch any of those shows. I watched Boy Meets World.
I love Topanga.
Yeah, of course. But I didn't watch Saved by the Bell. So this Screech character who released a sex tape in like 2006 called Saved by the Smell, which Screeched Saved by the Smell was the official title of the film. And
Was it straight porn or what was it?
apparently he said that he wasn't actually in the sex tape. It was a stunt double that they then added his likeness onto, which is,
You got a different snake in
I don't
there.
know if I believe him about that. It's kind of weird.
Got a different snake.
He's been
Freddie?
on a bunch of different things. He was on Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling,
He was?
which I don't even
And he was such a
remember.
nerd on the show, Screech. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
So the guy's had a lot of ups and downs all over the place.
Well, his career is
But,
taking a turn for the best, I see.
you know, he's yeah, exactly. Now he's the fill-in for Lenny Dykstra when he doesn't want to fight the Bagel guy in a boxing match where the rules are pretty
Yeah,
Pretty
but-
simple. It is 3 1-minute rounds. They're gonna be wearing
3
headgear.
1-minute rounds?
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's not really a fight.
I mean, when you're not a fighter, I mean, 1 minute is long still.
It could be.
Yeah,
sure.
but give me 3 3-minute rounds. Like, okay, I don't care if they're not a fighter. I want to see these guys go through something. Like
and bleed, man.
these guys in 3 minutes. It's a 3-minute fight. Nothing really bad is going to happen to them. I want to see one of these guys get seriously injured. If I'm paying $20 US for this fight TV thing, I want to
Brain
see
cells
money's
must
worth.
die.
Yes, I want to see the bagel
no, I
guy
think their brain cells
stretchered
have died a
out.
long time ago.
Stretcher the bagel guy out. Kill Screech if you have to. I want to see them fight for 9 minutes. I want 3 3-minute rounds so you actually see something. I want to see them go through something.
Look-
These guys aren't going to go through anything. I hope that Screech has a good right hand and just knocks the bagel guy out real quick.
Whoa,
That would be
Dave.
hilarious.
Listen, man. First of all, Screech does have boxing experience. He fought
He does?
before. He does. He fought actually Ron Palillo from Welcome Back Kotter back in 2002. So that was his first boxing match.
That's a show that even Fred and I are too young for.
No, Fred knows Welcome Back Kotter, I'm sure. Come on, Freddie. John Travolta was in there.
AJ,
on.
we were just at your
Welcome
birthday.
back, Cotter.
We were just at your birthday party this week. Should we reveal your age and explain why
Quiet there, Dave.
Come on.
There's a
Dwayne.
generation gap on this
Quiet. Well,
Say
welcome
happy
back, Kotter,
birthday
man.
to AJ.
What you talking about?
show. Uh huh.
Listen, first of all, so he does have experience. You got to give the Screech some credit.
Yeah, he'll win.
A fight back in 2002.
I'm picking Screech to win.
He's a bit taller. He's 6 foot tall, but he's coming in at the last minute. So maybe he's
a
not as
foot taller. The bagel guy's seriously like 4'11". Screech is 6 feet tall. This fight's over.
But I'm gonna. No, it's not. You know why? Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because the bagel guy, first of all, he's angry all the time. He's an angry little guy.
He's feisty.
He's awesome. I love this guy. But
Reminds me of you a little bit.
he does. He kind of, yeah, it would be good. Hey, bagel guy, you want to fight me anytime? But right now,
You
I
would
wanna
legit kill the bagel guy
yeah,
though.
but I want to see the bagel guy win.
all right.
You know why? Because he's been training with Chris Weidman and he's been training with Al Iaquinta. This guy has a real training camp. He's actually been training with these guys. I saw footage of him boxing with Al Iaquinta, and I can tell you the angry bagel guy, he's good, man. You got to give him some credit.
Could we place a bet on the fight? I got Screech by
No,
decision.
Screech won't be
There
saved
has
by
to
the
be
bell.
some online bookie that
Yeah.
takes bets.
For
Anybody
sure.
taking money
Who
on
doesn't
the
take
Screech?
bets?
I don't think there's odds on this fight.
Look, the Screech is going down. Bagel guy has probably not the height, but he's got these body shots that'll come in. He's very solid.
What are you
He's so
talking
low
about?
to the ground, man. He's going to be solid. If it was an MMA fight, I'd give it to the bagel guy hands down. But I'm still going to give it to the bagel guy because I think there's a lot of anger in that poor guy. And you know what? He's making a lot of money now, so he's going to be a happy bagel guy soon, right after that fight.
I don't know how much money they're actually making out of this celebrity boxing. I think a lot of it depends on how many people buy tickets and how many people shell out the $20 US.
I'm still interested to see how many like pay-per-view buys it sells. Like
It's going to sell, man. You know why, Fred?
if that Logan Paul dude did how
Exactly.
many?
Well, I'll
how
tell you
many-
what.
2 point something million
Oh my God.
subscriptions.
We just sold a
Plus-
couple of them for him because
Exactly.
we've given this fight way more play
Freddie-
than it deserves.
And the craziest part of the whole thing with
AJ's
Logan
excited
Paul,
about this.
I am excited. I want to see the bagel guy fight. Listen, give the guy some some happy times, man. The poor guy's got in beatings all over the place.
Give him some credit. Huh?
I
That's
gotta
what you're
give-
saying.
Yeah, Morgan, you're gonna do it. I can see you knocking him out. First of all, back to the Logan thing.
Okay, let's make
Wait,
a bet.
no,
Let's
wait.
make a bet. I got Screech, you got Morgan.
Yeah, what are we betting for? A bagel?
Dave's always a dozen bagel.
A dozen bagels from where? Listen, if you want
Well,
us
I
to
got
talk
this
about your
place that
bagel
has
shop,
12 bagels for $5, freshly made.
no, are
right
you
next
sure
to my
that
house.
they're
I want 'em good.
They have to be
course.
good
I want them from
bagels.
around here. I'm not going to
Oz
shout them
bagel.
out, but I
you know
want them
what?
from
You
around
want
there.
us to talk about your bagels? You want to give us like the winner, the
Bagels.
bagels?
Yes.
We'll talk about your
I'll tell you
bagel
what.
shop.
If you want to be the winning dozen bagels from the Bagel Guy Ringside Report bet, contact at Dan E. Bruck on Twitter or Instagram, DANEBRUK. DANEBRUK. Danny Bruck. Contact AJ, okay? And AJ will go pick up my bagels when the Bagel Guy loses to Screech.
No way, man. No way.
Well, we just bet a dozen bagel, and I like poppy seed.
I like poppy is
I'll
good.
take poppy
Sesame, yeah.
seed or sesame. I'm easy. But just
That's
make
what-
them
yeah.
make sure
Cream
they're
cheese.
make sure they're Montreal bagels, all right? I don't want you going to New
New York's-
York
No,
or
they're not the
Toronto or
same.
some other place to get me bagels because when I want a bagel,
Listen.
I want a bagel from my hometown.
Listen, Antoinette knows. She's in Toronto. She's had bagels in Montreal. She lives in Toronto, and you cannot even come close. Montreal bagels are
Look,
the best.
a lot
the
of
rest
people-
of them are too fatty, and they're not bagels.
A lot of people say that the bagel guy is in the home of the greatest bagel. A lot of people say New York bagel, but
No, come on, guys.
I would
You
say
know
Montreal bagel are my favorite, and I've had a New York bagel too thick. I don't like it. Montreal bagel, perfect.
that.
I love a
That's
I love
what
a good
Screech
bagel.
said in his first porn shoot. But anyways, so back.
Too thick. Why would he say that?
Hey, listen,
What's he
man.
talking about?
Well, you didn't tell me what kind of porn he did. Was it like,
Oh,
hello,
hey,
bagel guy?
Can we talk about real
hit him
fights?
below the belt. What happens if he hits him below the belt?
Lyoto the Dragon Machida taking on Gegard Mousasi. This is a great fight. I think this is where my $20 will go. DAZN
The zone
Saturday
yeah.
night to watch
I mean,
Bellator.
That's the more credible fight for sure. Like if you're an MMA fan, this is the one you want to see. The other one has like that freak show appeal, but this
But-
is a legit fight.
Can I
Yeah,
be
but
honest?
wait.
I think I probably would have bought the bagel guy fight if he was fighting Lenny Dykstra. But the fact that it's Screech, I don't really care about Screech. I don't really know Screech. He's not, a celebrity to me, so
Yeah, but
it's
you gotta
not as exciting.
think
I
about
wanted
it.
to see Lenny Dykstra beat up the bagel guy, but now it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. So I'm going to watch Bellator instead. That's really what it is. Bellator has won by default because Lenny Dykstra pulled out of his boxing match. I mean, that's pretty sad.
I'm going to tell you, Freddie, since you watched the show,
Maybe
do you
that
think-
says more
do you
about
think
me than it does
is,
Bellator,
Do you
right?
think Lopez is going to be on Screech's side or on the angry bagel guy side?
I have no clue, man.
Come on.
AJ, we're done with this fight.
Hey,
I know
Lopez.
Mario Lopez and the other guy that played Zach, they do jiu-jitsu, so they should help. But that won't help Screech because Screech, you can't use jiu-jitsu.
So Machida beat Mousasi in February of 2014.
been a while.
And I'm trying to
In
look.
Brazil.
When is it that Lyoto tested positive? I can't find it.
Well, I don't think it was after a fight. I think it was out of
Okay.
competition
Out
testing.
of competition.
Lyoto, I could tell you.
But he accused them. It wasn't like
No, Lyoto did test positive. I remember.
Yeah.
Like he got a suspension for a drug offense.
I don't know what year.
Machida in 2016, 18 months he was suspended. In 2016, because
He was supposed to face Dan Anderson.
he admitted using 7-keto DHEA, which is a USADA banned substance. So he did get suspended for 18 months by USADA.
2016. How long?
Yeah,
How long after his fight with Mousasi was that?
couple years.
Yeah. So Moussalti is really like.
Well, no, but this is the USADA era. Like he fought Mousasi pre-USADA. He fought Mousasi before there was out of competition testing. He fought
Okay.
Mousasi before there was random drug testing in the UFC. So it was a different era when Lyoto fought Mousasi.
It probably
They weren't
was.
tested as well as UFC fighters are today.
Now I'm gonna change the subject a bit because you see, you mentioned that the fighters being tested today. This week I read a stat where in the past year, 30 guys in the UFC tested positive, which equals to close to 5% of the roster, which is humongous. Those are only the guys that got caught in 1 year, 5% of the roster. So
Wow.
to people that think that the sport has gotten cleaner, maybe it did a little bit, but hey, there's still some work to do.
Well, maybe now only 5% of the roster's doing something. Well, 10%.
Or getting caught.
Let's say 15% of the roster being, nice. 5% are getting caught. Another 10% are going away and not getting caught. They're smarter about it. Let's say 5-6 years ago, it was 80-90% of the roster, right? I think it's probably better now. I think it's probably a bit better.
It's probably, but there's still a lot.
It's
of
harder
guys.
to cheat now, right? So it's got to be better.
Definitely.
So Gegard is fighting Lyoto. Gegard's coming off a tough loss where he lost the Bellator middleweight title. Gegard was on a really good run before that. He won a bunch of fights in the UFC, beat Chris Weidman, And then he left the UFC after beating Weidman, beat Alexander Shlemenko, beat Rafael Carvalho, beat Rory McDonald. And then he ran into Rafael Lovato Jr. and wound up losing a 5-round majority decision, a close fight to Lovato Jr. This is his first fight since then, taking on Lyoto, who's won 4 in a row, also won a couple before leaving the UFC.
He's
Interesting.
looking good.
Guys are winning fights and then saying, "Yep, I'm gonna go test Bellator."
And big names that are going away. Machida, Musasi, these are guys that could sell cards.
Rashad Evans is also leaving the UFC. He was granted his release.
Oh,
I think he still had a contract with the UFC. He decided, they weren't going to use him. I don't think they wanted him to fight or whatever, and he wanted to keep fighting and trying to make money. So don't be surprised to see Rashad Evans in Bellator at some point. Maybe fight the winner or loser of this fight.
Well, you see them all there.
The winner or
Chael
loser
Sonnen,
the loser of this fight would make a lot of sense for Rashad, right?
Well, I always thought Rashad was doing a good job on TV, so I'm a little disappointed that he's coming back. But hey, good for him. And yeah, Chael Sonnen would make great sense for him. And there's other guys out there.
How about Lyoto? How about the rematch?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't fought in a couple of years. I'd love to see him against something a little bit more easy for him.
If Lyoto gets knocked out here in this fight, say Lyoto looks terrible, right? Say you see Lyoto and you're like, oh, okay.
Is it wishful thinking right now?
You're 41. I'm just saying, I'm throwing out a scenario. If Lyoto looks terrible on Saturday night, let's do the Rashad rematch.
I guess so.
But if Lyoto looks halfway decent, please no, because Rashad has not looked great as of late. And for a return fight, you don't want to give him something too tough. And Lyoto, of course, we remember years ago, knocked out Rashad Evans to win the UFC light heavyweight title. It was a very famous knockout. Rashad did the whole stanky leg thing. It was a vicious knockout that I'm sure Rashad Evans would like to avenge because it was something that really haunted his career. It ended his reign as the champion. He was really never the same after that fight. I think Lyoto and Rashad in 2019 is kind of fun to do. It was 10 years ago, man. Imagine that. 10 years ago, Lyoto and Rashad, 2009, UFC 98.
But that's what I think is going to happen. If Rashad is going to end up in Bellator and Lyoto ends up winning, that might be the match that they'll set up. I mean, these guys are big names. They're going to bring viewership to the zone. Look, it's a smart move by Bellator. I mean, like, Bellator is taking all these still named fighters from the UFC.
Yeah, they got some good names at middleweight and light heavyweight, whether it's, like I say, Chael Sonnen, Rashad. Well, Rashad hasn't signed yet, but Lyoto, Gegard.
Rafael Carvalho.
I mean, even Tito Ortiz
Lovato.
is a name. Like,
Sure.
he's a draw. So they got guys that draw.
Absolutely. It's we'll see what happens. I mean, look, it's probably the second rebirth for fighters going to Bellator right now, which is probably not good for Bellator in a sense, if they really want to compete against the UFC, because let's be honest, the UFC is the place to be if you want to be recognized as the best fighter in the world.
Well,
right?
It's still the top organization, but it doesn't mean Bellator isn't doing some good fights. You look at their main event. Before we move on to the main event, though, the featherweight title fight between Pitbull and Archuleta. Archuleta won a tournament to get to this, right?
Yep.
Or is this in the tournament? I don't understand. This is in the
featherweight.
tournament.
Yeah, the featherweight.
But it's
World
for the
Grand Prix.
title. Why does Bellator do this? It's so confusing. They have title matches in the tournament. They put their champion in
That's
the
good.
tournament.
Make him defend the title.
In the tournament. It's
Yeah,
weird.
It's
Why
kind of
not?
It's
cool
like the
in a way.
tournament means more because you win $1 million if you win the tournament. So the tournament means more
And
than the
you're the
championship.
champ at the end. The guy that's going to win the tournament's going to be the champ.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense. So, anyways, that's the main
I'd
event.
rather see that than waiting that the champ stays like on the shelf for a year or something. Makes no sense. Make your champ fight.
Who do you have winning the Lyoto Gegard fight? I got Gegard, but I'm always biased. I always pick Gegard. Every fight that Gegard has, I'm with Gegard. But I think he'll win. I think he's more. He's just younger. He's fresher. He's still in his prime. He's 34. Lyoto's 41. I got Gegard, man. Gegard's excellent.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I'm going to go with Gegard also. First one was a decision.
Yeah.
Did he have a loss on his last fight?
And I think it was
he
Gegard's first fight. Yeah, Gegard's last fight he lost.
Right.
But that was Gegard's first fight in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. his first is the Lyoto fight. Oh no, it was the second fight. He fought Ilir Latifi first, beat him, and then fought Lyoto. That was his second fight in the UFC. That was a big test for Gegard. And it was a tough one. It was in Brazil, too. Fighting Lyoto in Brazil is not easy. Now he's fighting him in California. I got Gegard. Patricio Freire versus Juan Archuleta. It's a first-round bout in the Bellator Featherweight World Grand Prix, and it's also for the featherweight title.
So who else is in that tournament?
Well, you have AJ McKee against Georgi Karakhanyan. They're fighting on this card.
Okay, so these are all tournament bouts.
Yeah, every other fight other than the middleweight co-main event between Lyoto and Gegard, it's all tournament bouts here from Bellator on Saturday. Daniel Weichel versus Saul Rogers, Henry Corrales against Darian Caldwell, and Georgi Karakhanyan against AJ McKee.
And there's $1 million on the line. How much is it?
Yep.
That's what I understand. All these Bellator tournaments seem to have $1 million. I thought 50 Cent was giving people money.
He is. He's still there. He's always ringside.
Is he still doing that?
Absolutely,
50?
yeah.
So they're getting $1 million, but Nate and Masvidal are fighting for a $50,000 belt.
Yeah, for the Mofo belt.
Step your game up, Dana.
Yeah, people thought 50 Cent was old news. You know, you think The Rock is the guy for that BMF belt. Rather have 50 Cent in my corner, apparently.
$1 million sounds more than $50,000.
Well, it is, Fred. That's because it is. It sounds like it because it is.
Yeah, but the thing is that you gotta remember it's a Grand Prix, right? So it's not like it's like 1-to-1 fight. You gotta fight many times to get to the end. So yeah, it's $1 million. But when you look at a fighter fighting 3-4 fights, he'll be there as well.
But hang on,
he's very consistent and he looks good.
Now, Fred, you talked about that championship that the UFC is going to make, the BMF title for Nate Diaz and George Masvidal. They're going to fight in November at Madison Square Garden, UFC 244. Right?
244, yeah.
So that championship was revealed this week to be in the process of being made, and it's worth $50,000. But that's not the prize. Like, they get that. That's a bonus. They're going to get paid for the fight, too, Fred. They're not going to make $50,000 for the fight. They're going to make, like, probably millions each for the fight. They're main eventing a big pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden. They're going to be making good money.
I've become a fan of Masvidal in the last couple of weeks, and yeah, he's been talking like he's going to like this payday. Like, he seems satisfied with what he's going to be getting, and finally he's getting a good payday, and it's deserved. A guy that's been in MMA for so long, that fought his way, that earned his way to this big title, big money fight. So happy for both of them.
Can I ask you a question about George Masvidal?
Yeah.
He's not Mexican, right?
No, he's Cuban.
So
very interesting story he said about his father coming to the USA on a tire, like on a big truck tire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, like I know he's not Mexican. I know he's Cuban.
So is it cultural appropriation? Where are you going with this?
What was he wearing in UFC Mexico? Like the whole poncho with the bullets and the hat, the sombrero. Look, hold on. If this was a white dude wearing that gimmick in Mexico, people would be like, "What?"
Yeah, well,
but George Masvidal does it and is like, "Cool, man, do your thing."
Yeah, but people are all offended. Like recently,
are people offended about that?
I don't think so. But some people recently
right?
were offended with like LeBron James going like Taco Tuesday. I don't know if you saw the whole Taco Tuesday thing.
No.
Like, cause he eats tacos on Tuesdays. And
so who doesn't?
LeBron James was doing these videos where he's talking like with a Mexican accent. So there were some Hispanic people that took offense from it.
Yeah,
but why, man? I'm Italian. You know how many jokes are made about us?
Yeah, if I go to Hawaii, I guarantee you, I'm getting one of those nice like flower things,
but
I'm dancing.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm acting Hawaiian if I'm going to Hawaii.
But everybody does that. George Masvidal.
What's the difference?
Man, I did it on the show with Khabib.
Because George Masvidal was the only dude in the crowd in Mexico City wearing like a poncho that said Mexico on it with a sombrero.
People come to Montreal and buy a Canadiens jersey. Should we get mad for that? Should I get mad when a guy like from Brazil decides to wear a Habs jersey?
I don't think that's the equivalent. I think it would be like somebody coming to Canada and like building an igloo and living in that. Would be like, what are you doing?
Well, you know what? Like we blasted Trudeau like this whole last 2 weeks.
Let's not get into that.
But let's get into it because Trudeau went to India and he was dressed up like in like garb that was like splattered all over
Little
the world.
much.
You know,
But you
I mean,
like to play dress up too, right?
I always play dress up. I dress up as Khabib and I dress up as George. And to be honest, I'm going to dress up as Masvidal when he.
Look, I'm going to be constant.
I'm going to wear it.
But
I'm
that's not dressing
offended.
up like Masvidal, is it?
Well,
That's
I
what.
could
That's
be.
how Masvidal dresses when he goes to Mexico. I just found the
I
outfit.
love Mexico. Why wouldn't I want to dress
I
like
found the
Mexico?
outfit a bit questionable. Is all.
Look,
Oh,
if
I
I
find
go
that,
to your
like-
native France, I'm gonna bring a baguette. Okay?
Yeah,
You're gonna
and
wear
some
a
butter.
little, the little
yeah,
hat.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
talk
those
like
people
these.
wear the hat.
Hey, Dave.
Look, I always joke around.
If you go to Israel, are you gonna wear a hat and you're gonna get a wig and you're gonna,
Okay.
you know?
I play FIFA at home, okay? And when I play a French team, I'm always going like, oh, sacre bleu, sacre bleu. And my girlfriend's like, nobody says that in France. I'm like, yeah, but I still like to think people do. So, it's just like a game. It's for fun.
Yeah, it's like Peter Sellers in like the Pink Panther.
Sacre
What are you gonna
bleu.
do? Come on, Dave. Don't be like. You can't be that like.
Look, man, I'm not saying,
it's getting weak. We're getting weak.
dude. I'm not saying I have a
I dressed
problem
up as
with
Conor McGregor and I was
it.
talking
I'm not
like
saying I have a problem with it. I'm just raising the issue. And
Trudeau didn't have an issue with all
and
that.
wondering if I were to go to Mexico, could I wear the same gear?
Why
Because it
not,
looked
man?
pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure if you go on a resort, look, man,
I can wear with the bullets. Where do I
well,
get the bullets?
I don't
Maybe the
know.
bullets is not a good idea.
But I invited
but-
you to the Western Festival. I want to go somewhere where I could dress up as a cowboy, man. Like, why
Yeah,
you
Freddie,
should
you know
be
what,
able
like-
to dress up,
Freddie, I'm
man.
coming with you next time. I'm gonna bring my sombrero too.
Let's all get some of those nudie suits. You know what I'm talking about?
nudie suits.
Yeah, in the old Western days, not nude, but nudie
Okay,
suits.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, what are
Google
you,
it.
Screech too?
Google it. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
Saved by the smell.
saved by the smell,
Can
Screech.
you believe it? The things you learn on Ringside Report, you just never know what you might find out. George Masvidal, Nate Diaz for the BMF title. It's a $50,000 belt that the UFC's making, and they have announced that officially The Rock, the People's Champ, the most electrifying man, will be presenting the belt to them.
Did you lose your voice or what?
No, I just gave up. I just gave up mid-Rock impression.
I think The Rock is awesome, man, to be showing up.
If you smell...
I was just gonna say, it doesn't matter what you think.
That's right. Hey, AJ,
Beware the Cobra.
what is your name?
AJ.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Yes, it does. I'm AJ.
Oh, I could sucker AJ into these because he doesn't even know they're coming.
That was a bad one.
Who in the blue hell are you? All right, it is Ringside
Ooh,
Report.
yeah.
We're gonna take a short pause. We
No, I
will.
want to take a pause. I want
We
to keep
have
talking.
to. All right, settle down. We will talk about UFC Mexico City because the main event ended in major controversy, muy controversy.
A lot of tackles were thrown.
See, this is not. This
What?
is exactly what I'm talking about.
But it was.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco
Oh.
Tuesday.
Gee. And then there was some controversy with Jeremy Stevens and Yair Rodriguez in the hotel. They were saying some words, and we'll talk about the bad words that they said.
Terrible,
We'll also
terrible.
give you some news about Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, Conor McGregor, and Khabib Nurmagomedov coming up when we come back. Stay with us.
Can I bitch about FIFA?
Yeah, it's commercial break time. You're going to bitch about FIFA.
All right, man. Look, FIFA comes out on Friday, but they offer this thing where they go like, "Hey, we'll give you 3-day early access if you subscribe to EA Access, which is like a subscription service they offer, $30 a month." So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pay $30 to get my game 3 days early, 30 extra because I paid for the game also. Get the game. The rosters is not even updated, so I can't even like like it has.
What do you mean it's not updated?
Well, I mean, players like Frank Ribéry, he's still like on Bayern Munich instead of being on Fiorentina. Chicharito is not on Sevilla.
What are you doing,
So,
AJ?
yeah, like EA Sport, man, you just like sell a game and it's not even ready. People on the internet are saying like the rosters are going to be updated for the official launch on Friday. But hey, I bought the game. Like, I want my official rosters
Well,
now.
yeah, you're paying extra, right?
Well, I'm paying for the EA Access, which is a service that gives you access to the game 3 days early. But
Do you have to still pay for the game?
Yeah, of course.
So you're just paying for...
I paid $70 for the game, and I paid $30 for the EA Access, and I'm not playing it for the 3 days I'm supposed to be playing it early. Because the only way I play that game is with the career mode, and I'm not going to start my career mode with an outdated roster squad.
Right.
Makes no sense. EA, double finger.
So it's $30 a year to get EA early access,
Yeah, well,
or $30
because
per game.
no, because basically EA Access is a thing that gives you access to all the Vault games. So you have all the old games for free.
Really?
But I don't play that. So as a bonus, they like for the new games, they say, oh well, you could play 3 days in advance.
Oh.
So the game comes out on the 27th. So on the 24th, I was able to play because I had the EA Access.
Wait, so if I have EA access, it's $30, and I
year?
can play like the old Madden or whatever.
Yeah,
and the
for
old
free.
NHL for
Yeah,
free.
for free. But it's just on Xbox. They don't have it for PS4.
Oh, really?
I know.
That
know.
sucks.
I know.
I was about to go buy
Well-
that. Hey, EA, double figures for me too. Go put it on PS4. What's your problem? Or how about Nintendo Switch? Hell, son.
So that was my vent.
What happened to Miss Pac-Man and all the good games?
Taco for life. AJ, you can't say tacos were thrown.
Tacos are the best in the
I
world,
mean, they
man.
do eat
Who
tacos
doesn't-
in Mexico,
I
but
love tacos.
I know, but
Don't mess
I
with my
prefer
tacos, man.
burritos.
Burritos are good, man, but they're not better than
burritos
tacos.
are much better.
Nothing like better than tacos
Hard
and beer.
shells are not
Modelo
good, man. You
beer
crack,
and
a hard
tacos.
shell, it all breaks, and then you have your taco in
Those
your
are the
hand,
best, man.
Come on,
oh,
man.
come on, man.
Dios mío.
Burrito.
Tacos. Latinos. Johnny knows he's with the Latino. What is he?
I
with
do
the,
like tacos.
What's Johnny's wrestling team? The Latino.
Johnny, I think
The Latino gang.
Johnny
What do they
took a
call it?
vicious beating this weekend, eh?
Anyways,
Do
Johnny.
you see a picture of Johnny on Instagram? It looked like he took a beating.
Johnny could
I hope
take
he's all right.
beatings.
His chest was all like, he's very tough.
Johnny is a beast.
Johnny's one of the toughest guys I know.
Johnny North, AEW. Remember that name. We need Johnny North
Yeah.
in pro wrestling. Well, he is a pro wrestler. Either WWE, AEW. We got to get the big, great Johnny North.
By the way,
there.
Friday on the show, AEW talk. We know how we're going to watch it in Canada, so that's good. AEW TV, we know how we're going to watch it in Canada. We're going to have to pay $5 a month for it, but
Hey, it's not bad.
better than
$5.
watching it on the old TV. Who wants to watch TV anymore? Got the internet.
Yeah, like our
Stream.
show, man.
TV's dying.
TV's over.
But that's a good example. Of what
TV
we
is
were,
dead.
Listen, that's a good example of what we were talking about before about the Logan Paul and the Angry Bagel guy. These guys are making more money than some pro wrestlers and pro MMA guys by going out on YouTube and getting like a couple of million subscribers
You're talking
out
about
there.
Logan Paul again?
Logan Paul made more money than a lot
Is
of
he
people.
doing this? You always bring it back to these guys.
Yeah, man, because even Dylan Dan has called out Logan Paul because he knows that there's money to
Easy
be made.
money.
Easy money. But Freddie, there's millions to be made, man. I think,
I don't care about Logan Paul.
but I do. I want to see a second fight.
I don't.
I don't care
I
about
do.
him. Do you watch his YouTube channel?
I didn't pay for the first one.
I
Won't pay
didn't-
for the
listen,
second.
Look, I didn't know much about his who the guy was till my nephews told me, listen, check out like the best boxer in the world. And I'm like, who the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, but here's
And
the
then-
thing. Here's the thing with that guy in that fight. It's not real. Like, it's just two nerds on the internet trying to fight each other. Maybe they have some experience. Maybe they're all right at fighting, but they're not good.
Yeah, but we just spent like 20 minutes on the Bagel guy and
He's
Dustin
right, man. We're
Diamond.
talking about it. And look at the press conference that the Logan Paul guy had. It was like a McGregor scene. Like they're really hamming it up. I got to give it to the guy.
Yeah, but this is a rematch, man.
I want to
See,
see it.
I don't know where you're following all that because I don't see none of it.
Man,
I'm not following the same accounts
because I
you
subscribe
are.
to his channel.
I haven't seen any of this Logan Paul stuff. All
Guys,
I'm
get
seeing,
with the picture, man.
all I'm
These are the
seeing is
days.
a little Swedish girl really upset about stuff. That's the only thing I've seen on the internet for the past 3 days.
What, Swedish
An
what?
angry Swedish girl.
What, Swedish porn? What are you talking about?
No, man. You know that little Swedish girl who's really mad. You don't know. You see, AJ's
I know
really.
Angry Bagel guy. Maybe
Don't
I
worry
know.
about it.
Is
It's
it his
fine.
girlfriend?
I'll talk about it on my other show, Irreparable Damage. Check it out. We're gonna go back
I
to
think
the
we more,
MMA.
more damage here than your show there.
You're the one mostly doing it too.
Taco Tuesday.
Yes, best. That's what we should do. We should have a taco night, guys. On our
Taco?
next,
Not a taco.
No,
Taco?
but what we should do on our next.
How did you pronounce it?
taco?
Taco.
Did I not say taco?
Taco.
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 Would you like a potato or a potato?
Burrito.
Would you like a taco?
Quesadilla.
Okay.
No, quesadilla.
You see, when I was a kid, when my kid was a kid, because he's now 20, so he's not a kid, I used to go.
Freddie
like,
looks so good.
We're having some kissy
Oil of Olay.
Freddy. You know, I
What?
would add the Freddy to it, so he would look at me and be like completely so kissy Freddy.
So you would add your name to
Yeah.
the quesadillas?
Yeah, like
Case of Freddy's?
yeah.
Case
Or
of beer?
Fettuccine alla Freddy.
That's
Well,
like,
actually, there is
you know,
one.
Peggy
Yeah,
Hill.
that's
Peggy
not-
Hill does that, right? Spot.
Who's Peggy Hill?
I know
Peggy Hill
Benny Hill.
on,
You remember Benny Hill, Fred?
You know, King of the Hill.
Yeah, I don't
Nobody
watch
knows this
You
stuff.
never watched King of the Hill?
it. I know.
Yeah, it's
I know
good.
King of the Hill, but I don't really watch it.
My goodness. I love King of the Hill.
South
I still
Park is
watch it all
better.
the time.
Way better.
Spot Peggy and meatballs. You know what I'm
South
saying?
Park is better for
The King of the Hill?
Yeah, man.
Get out of here.
Come on, Dave.
Get out of here.
South Park, man.
You're crazy. All right, let's get back to the
Central
action.
Coast.
3, 2, 1. All right. We're back.
Central
Welcome
Coast.
back. It is Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. He's Fred Garcia. Hey, by the way, you can follow us on things. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Instagram and Twitter and all the other things. Follow Fred at Freddie MMA. Follow AJ at Danny Bruck.
What about Genesis Johnny North? Throw him a shout out.
He's not on this show.
Well,
you
he
can
is
watch
technically.
You could watch him on Dave and Johnny Live every Friday afternoon at about 12:30. We talk about All Elite Wrestling. We talk about Impact Wrestling. We talk about Ring of Honor. We talk about movies. We talk about TV. We talk about
mean-
Johnny North in the ring.
Why are
Just
we
to
mentioning? Why are we mentioning Johnny? He wasn't there for your 50th birthday.
Well, Johnny,
Oh,
what? Johnny was. Listen, let me just say one.
You dropped it.
No, man, no.
Boom.
You know, let me. It was my birthday.
Let me.
You guys.
We love you, AJ.
Yeah, Central Coast.
Yeah, Johnny wasn't there for your
Johnny
big birthday
Johnny
party.
was taking a beating for us. He was doing it for the show. He was getting ratings for Ringside Report.
We were all there.
While we were eating burgers.
This past Sunday.
We had a good
Saturday?
time, man.
Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Sunday.
with the AJ crew.
With your family. We met your brother and your sister and
My nephews.
your nephews and everybody else. You know, my
My-
family was there. Fred's
Yes.
family was there. We all had a nice birthday dinner for AJ's.
and you got to see.
Saying-
And you
I'm
got,
not
and
saying
you got
it.
to see my better half
AJ,
as well.
5-0.
AJ, note that I'm not saying it. Fred said it.
No, but
okay?
the best part was
Beat
when
him
we.
up.
The best part was when we realized, like, hey, we know Anthony for like 5 years now, and he's always been 45, 46. Like,
Yeah,
there's an issue here.
That's
like-
right. You told me you were 46 for several years, and I never questioned it.
Guys, don't listen to these
Which
guys.
really made me realize how stupid I am, because I'm like, AJ's 46. And I realized you've been 46 for about 8 years, so I can't really...
I'm a young spring chicken. Don't let it fool you.
You're a confusing man.
A little seasoned, but I'm
But-
still young. But listen, let me just say one thing that I wanted to tell you, Dave, which I didn't get a chance to text you or Johnny. So the other night, I'm at my mom's house.
Are you sure this is fit for the show?
No, it's fit for the show. So listen to me here. So I'm like talking to my mom. I'm like, what do you want to watch? And she goes, let's watch some television. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's watch it. And then this 90 Day Fiance comes on. I'm like, this is the crazy show that Dave and Johnny watches. They're always talking about it.
Yeah.
Let me find out what it's all about. Holy smokes, Dave. I am totally shocked about this show. Now I'm hooked on it.
Oh, yeah?
I want to find out what's happening with the guy that's like marrying some girl in Africa, and the poor girl from the States marrying some guy in Tunisia, and the poor guy that's still waiting for his Russian bride to come in. You're not gonna get her, buddy. She is not coming. Guaranteed.
Sounds like an immigration issue.
It's
here.
crazy, man. I'm like, you know
is.
what? I would have loved to have been on that show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I would have been like 90 Day Fiance. Just send me out.
All right.
Would have been so cool.
So,
but anyways, it's a good show, by the way, Johnny.
It is a fun show, and Johnny North and I watch it, and we talk about it on Dave and Johnny Live. We also do Wrestling Uncensored. You can watch that show and all the other shows on the Ringside Report Network over on the YouTube channel.
Good idea.
Like and subscribe and leave a comment.
I got
and
a
all
good
those
idea right
things.
now. This is ingenious. Listen
We
to
got
this.
MMA to get
No,
to,
wait,
AJ.
it actually is part of MMA. Get the angry bagel guy on 90 Day Fiance. He needs somebody. You heard it from us first.
More terrible ideas from AJ DeLesio. UFC Mexico ended in an eye poke disaster. The fight ended in about 15 seconds. Yair Rodriguez poked Jeremy Stevens in the eye. I don't know what Yair was trying to do, because he went boom right in the eye, straight poke. I don't know what that move was,
Like
Yair.
3 times, like
Yeah, like
a triple move.
It looked like he was going to poke the eye. Like that was his maneuver. It was very strange.
He gave him the snake.
Jeremy Stevens couldn't continue. The fight lasted about 15 seconds.
It was weird because typically when we see an eye poke, we'll see like the guy that's poking. He's trying to block a punch or something, and the other guy comes in. So that's you. But this time it was really Yair that was like
just putting his
yeah,
hand out
exactly.
there.
He
in
was
the other guy's
initiating
eye.
the movement. He was really. It was a weird one.
It looked like it was on purpose. It was very strange. And then Yair was super upset when the fight stopped. He was just going crazy, yelling at everybody, yelling at Jeremy Stevens.
You think there's coaches out there going like, hey, you could poke him once. They'll just
No,
warn you.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was
100%.
just. I think he was just trying to do
Is that
some.
the type of story we could hear?
Yeah, 100%.
Look-
I guarantee you there are coaches out there that'll tell you. I mean, if I was an MMA coach, that's what I would do. I'd be like, look, poke the guy in the eye.
Well, in
You-
wrestling, they do other stuff too, right?
You screw up his vision, right? You screw up his vision, and then you only get a warning, and it's no big deal.
So can
You're
you-
talking about wrestling? They do steel chairs and stuff in
No,
wrestling.
I'm
AJ.
talking
Can you
about like
poke the eye
wrestling and
and
wrestling
after
when you're
that-
grappling, man. You've got the thumb sometimes in areas
Sure.
where you shouldn't be, and you sort of like.
Leave it at that.
So what
Yeah.
if like you poke one time, you get like a warning, and then you decide to go like for a shot to the groin? Do you get another warning?
Yeah,
'Cause,
different
I mean,
warning.
Like I might start my own gym here and start
Yeah.
teaching that way.
What
Teaching how to do knees to
kung
the
fu,
groin.
pigeon fu, eye poke.
Knees to the groin without, anybody knowing that you're trying to do it on purpose. That's a good fighting technique. But anyways,
But the Irish monk.
Yair and Stevens.
The
it was,
Shaolin monks
like,
do that.
This was the main event of UFC Mexico City, and this was the fight I was tuning in for. I get there, and boom, there's no fight because there's an eye poke. Everybody was really mad. The fans in Mexico were throwing things at the octagon, throwing things, beer, coins, whatever. And the MMA media and people in the sport were just so shocked. They couldn't believe that people were throwing things at the cage. Like, this happens, and really, it's beer. You're lucky that it's beer in the cups that are being thrown at you in Mexico City, because the stories I hear from professional wrestlers, and I'm not talking about professional wrestlers 20 years ago, I'm talking about professional wrestlers today. Professional wrestlers get cups thrown on them, and it's warm, and it smells real bad. They get urine thrown at them. Okay?
Nice.
That happens still to this day in Mexico for professional wrestling, where the fans are supposed to know it's not real, and still to the bad guys,
Whoa, don't
they're
say that,
throwing the urine on some of these guys. It happens.
Look,
No, this is not, don't say that, Dave. This is what happens sometimes in Mexico. So for all these people in MMA to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're throwing beer. Look, the main event got ruined for an eye poke. It didn't really happen. The hometown guy, Yair Rodriguez, was really amped up in the cage. He didn't really help the situation either. He should have calmed things down, but his emotions got the better of him. These things happen. Everybody getting so shocked and offended that the fans would throw things. Like, look, it happens. It happens in every city when things get out of control. It's not a Mexico problem. It's just something that happens when things go wrong.
But
it's
you know
not
what?
excusable. Like, I don't know.
I wouldn't do it,
Fred.
but I get it.
The level of it was a lot of people throwing. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, in most
Yeah, but
places in the world, you'll have an idiot that's gonna throw a thing or two, But hey, that was more than one or two idiots. That was a lot of people throwing things.
Well, perhaps it is cultural. Perhaps
It
in
is.
Mexico,
You're
they
get-
are more of the throwers. In the crowd, maybe, from the stories I've heard of professional wrestling, like the urine and stuff that gets thrown on you, batteries, coins.
It happens-
Sometimes people take
Listen.
stabs at you with a knife.
Dave.
They shoot you with guns. Things happen from the crowd in Mexico, okay? I've heard a lot of crazy stories
Absolutely,
over the
but
years about professional wrestling. So,
But
you
you're
know,
gonna- you're
a
gonna
little
see
beer
that.
getting thrown in Mexico City when a UFC main event goes wrong, hey, it happens,
Look, Dave,
man.
it
Let's not get all freaked
It happens
out.
in soccer, man, all the time. This is
Sure.
nothing new. You go to any matches in Mexico or in Europe, you go to some of the big games, like in England. There were times where the goaltenders were getting like batteries thrown at their heads, money. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, these guys are trying to play, but I don't know. I don't think it's a
Still not
cultural thing. I think it's
excusable.
the emotions that just carried out.
Not
And
excusable. Fred says it's not excusable.
it's
How
not
about
excusable.
this? How about this then? Yair Rodriguez and Jeremy Stevens got into an altercation the next day at the hotel.
Yeah.
Yair came up to Jeremy Stevens. He says, hey, how's your eye? How you doing? Stevens apparently thought he was being all cordial with him. He's like, yeah, it's all fine. And then Yair's like, so what's your problem, man? How come you didn't want to fight me yesterday? He gets into it with him. And Stevens like, oh, what? And he calls him an F word. He doesn't say the 4-letter F word. He uses the 6-letter F word, the really bad one that we don't use.
I thought
What's
it
the
was
six?
a
I thought it was
3-letter.
3 letters.
Oh, is it 3?
Yeah.
He didn't go all. He shortened it.
He went.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
We're
you're-
saying the same word. It's a bad word that we don't use. It's
What does it start with, Dave?
an F. It's an F word.
But
Okay.
the
F
3-letter
word.
one is what?
Oh my goodness, AJ. Do you really have to explain it to you?
Not for me, man.
I think
for
I
our
do.
listeners.
No, it's an F word. I don't have to explain it to you. You know what it is. It's the F word that we don't say on the show. I mean, sometimes I'll drop the 4-letter F word because that's fun. You know, a little.
I would drop
A little
another
spice.
4-letter F word just to make a joke, but I'm scared that it's
Come
not
on,
gonna-
Yeah,
Freddie,
let's not
say
do
it.
it. Let's
Yeah,
not do it.
do these jokes.
But so they threw that word at each other, right? Jeremy Stevens said it to Yair. He called him an F, and then Yair said it back to him. It's not a word I particularly enjoy, but it happens that fighters are gonna say that to each other, and a lot of people are very upset about it. They shouldn't be saying these things, and I agree they shouldn't be saying these things. It's not good things to say, but these guys were about to assault each other in public. You know, a couple of bad words is really the least of my concern. Like, they were in a hotel. These are 2 professional fighters. Jeremy Stevens pushes Yair, and then they say a couple words like, it's really not that bad considering what could have happened. It could have been way worse.
Look what Yair did in the fight after that whole incident, and then you have Michael Bisping coming. and then
Yair
he said-
acted a fool.
He did. I mean, you know what? You're talking to Bisping. He's a big boy. He's an MMA fighter, and he was really cool and collective considering what Yair called him in Spanish. Right off the bat, did you remember that part?
I didn't hear Yair say anything bad
he
to Bisping.
He did say something really nasty
I saw
to
him
Bisping.
pushing Bisping.
Yeah, he did, but he
off,
used a word that was I won't use now. But if you hear look, go check the video and you'll hear him what he says. I think it was very disrespectful, and he's still hamming it up with Stevens
Well,
after the fight.
Yair
I mean,
seemed to not understand why the fight was not going on.
He called him
like
a bad word in Spanish?
yep. Like
Can
when
we
he pushed Bisping
Can we
off.
say the bad words in Spanish?
Well, I guess you can if you want to use it as sort of.
What did he say?
Think of like potatoes.
Well, he called him a puto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Cain
Putin.
Velasquez and the other guy there, Brian.
That's the equivalent.
Cain
That's
Velasquez-
the equivalent of the F word in
Is it?
Spanish. Yes.
Is it?
Yes,
It's actually
because
worse.
In
Yeah.
soccer, they yell that to the goalie,
Wow.
and it is
Not cool. Well, don't use that word, all right? I'm not going to repeat it. I said it once. I just wanted to clarify what we were talking about. I think we can use Spanish curse words for now, but I don't like that. That's not cool. Cain Velasquez and Ortega were yelling at the Jeremy Stevens octagon side. That's not cool. Cain Velasquez.
Well, Kane is a cool guy. What are you talking about?
Well, he's yelling bad words at Jeremy Stevens. Homophobic slurs.
But in the end, look, Yair is the one that caused the injury, so like he has to be mad at himself.
How about don't poke people in the eye, Yair?
exactly. Like
Get it together.
I'm always critical of John Jones for doing it, and look, this time it's on you. It's on Rodriguez.
So
I mean-
that fight has been moved. It will
October 18th.
Yeah, October 18th, which I think is a Friday. It's going to be in Boston,
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
UFC on ESPN.
Well, look, it'll be something to look forward
Dominic
to.
Reyes against Chris Weidman, main
That's
event for
gonna
that
be a
one.
good one.
Yair Rodriguez, Jeremy Stevens, now the co-main event.
Oh, the co-main.
Greg
Okay.
Hardy.
Yep.
Is Greg Hardy on that card too?
Yeah, I just saw his name.
Oh, terrible.
Against who?
Fighting another jabroni.
Another jabroni, because the
Dana.
UFC is feeding this guy.
Yeah,
Who's the
Dana just-
jabroni?
I don't know. He's a jabroni.
It doesn't matter what his name
yeah,
is.
exactly. You don't really understand quick.
I want to know who he is. Unless his name is
doesn't
Jabroni.
matter.
You know? Bob Jabroni. Well, I don't know who.
Bob Jabroni. That's his name. His name is Bob Jabroni. So AJ, we
He's
got
part
some
of the job squad.
We got some news this week. Daniel Cormier, he tells ESPN that he wants to fight Stipe Miocic again. He is not retiring. DC is coming back. That's the fight we all wanted to see for the heavyweight championship of the world, the trilogy fight. But unfortunately, Stipe has an eye injury that he suffered, apparently due to some eye pokes in that Daniel Cormier fight in August.
Plus, Stipe also added that in the first fight also that Cormier poked him. So Stipe has a little like sour grapes with
Well.
Daniel, or I'm not sure right now.
I don't know what the deal is, but they're not going to fight again this year. Stipe out until at least the rest of 2019, so Maybe
If you're
2020.
Stipe, if you're Stipe right now, right now is time maybe to tell the UFC, hey, I want some of those big paydays also. I mean, you guys want to do that rematch with Cormier? I'm down, but hey, show me the money.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, Dave. Exactly what I said from weeks back. I said it exactly word for word. I said, Stipe, something's going to happen. They're going to step back, and you know what's going to happen here? We're going to see Cormier fighting John Jones again.
You want to bet?
This is going to happen.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I want in on that bet.
Is it for bagels?
Sure, another dozen bagels if you want.
I want in.
I'm going to be eating for free.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bagels it is.
So DC's
next fight is not John Jones. That's
the bet.
That's the only
no,
bet.
That's the bet. No, that's the bet.
The next fight Cormier will have, obviously it was supposed to be with Stipe.
You say it's John Jones, and I say it won't be.
Dana White, make
Done.
it happen. I need my bagels.
Done, brother.
So
we
I
just
got
made
3
another
bagels.
bet.
I'm gonna make. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, so I will win a dozen bagels when
36 bagels.
Screech defeats the bagel guy
That ain't
on
happening.
Saturday.
My first set of bagels.
I will also win another dozen bagels when Daniel Cormier doesn't fight John
That's
Jones.
a lot of bagels, man.
24 you could freeze them.
Yeah, they're good.
fine.
Cream cheese, you know.
bagels are made to be eaten fresh.
They are, but you can freeze
Straight
them.
out.
Well,
They're
look,
so
I'm
good.
gonna get my dozen bagels this weekend after the win, and then the other dozen bagels.
I'm calling you as soon as he wins.
Well,
you know
look,
I'm calling you.
Sure, but then the other dozen bagels I'm gonna get in like a few months when the DC Stipe fight is
And
made
Freddie?
official, right?
But I'm telling
You'll
you
get
guys,
your bagels then too.
I'm gonna be eating a lot of bagels.
I like
can
these.
see that.
I like these bagel
I
bags.
want cream cheese also.
Like Jojo Savard would say, I
So-
can see in the future lots of bagels for AJ.
So that fight should take place.
Dave doesn't know.
I know exactly who that is.
You do?
Yeah, I know
Holy
everybody.
smokes.
So Conor McGregor's coach John Kavanagh is saying that he wants Conor McGregor to fight
I'm down.
Frankie
I like
Edgar
it.
next.
I like it.
Frankie Edgar.
I think I like it. Look, I was asking for Justin Gaethje, and I think Justin Gaethje's maybe a little too dangerous for Conor right
I
now.
thought we wanted Dustin Poirier. Isn't that what we decided
Poirier
last
makes
week?
sense also, but I think Frankie Edgar makes sense also. It's a new matchup for Conor. I think it's a good matchup. Frankie's a small guy, very quick though. He's fought a lot of bigger guys than him in his career. Most of his fights Frankie has had was against bigger guys. Now, I would like to see it. Frankie's a big name, former champion. Frankie against Conor makes a lot of sense to me.
I'm into it. And Frankie was supposed to fight Aljamain Sterling, but that fight is now canceled because Aljamain underwent surgery for a torn ligament in his wrist. That fight was supposed to be in November at Madison Square Garden. Hey,
I
baby.
would need to pull it off though, because on Twitter Frankie asked Conor for this fight, and I was just like, come on, Frankie, it's a little too polite, you know, like you gotta get the bad boy in you out of here. If you want to fight Conor McGregor, it's not with a please that you're gonna get it, you know. You're like,
It might work.
you gotta put your name out there.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to hype it up with Conor.
I'm not against it. I'm not against Conor McGregor and Frankie Edgar. I think it'd be a fun fight. I think it makes sense for Conor right now.
I think it would be a good fight for Conor to take, but you know, I'd rather see him fight Dustin.
Khabib Nurmagomedov says he's 80% sure his next fight will be in Russia.
I think he's right about that. I mean, why not? He is the champion. He has such a huge following, and
You want to
think,
fight Khabib in Russia?
Listen, man, why not? He's
That's
allowed
tough.
to. He's allowed to fight in his hometown. George fought here many times. Connor's still. Did he ever fight? No, he has to fight in Dublin. But
I want Tony Ferguson and Khabib to fight somewhere else,
Where?
not Russia.
why not? Imagine the fans.
Fight
It would
in
be great.
Vegas.
I
Do
mean,
it in
the
Vegas.
only problem would be the time delay for the fans
It's too
to
big.
watch.
It's too big for Russia. You got to do that thing in Vegas. You got to. It's one of the biggest fights you're going to do in a couple of years if you're the UFC. Khabib and Tony Ferguson, it's too massive for Russia.
So I got the Frankie tweet here. I actually didn't say please, but he's like, "Hey, at Notorious MMA, is it true you've been asking to fight me? If so, the answer is always yes on my end." Like, it needs a little more fire than that, Frankie.
Hey, Connor.
He needs a little proper 12. That's what
You've
he
been
needs.
stealing everything I want.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Connor, you suck at fighting.
What?
Your whiskey sucks. Oh, how about this? You know what Frankie should do to get a fight out of Connor? Talk about how bad his whiskey is, and then if Connor offers him a drink, refuse the drink, and that'll get you punched in the face for sure.
I think it's a good idea, Dave.
It's worked. I've seen it
Sold.
work. I've seen it work. So, Connor, Russia, probably not against Khabib. I don't think Tony Ferguson should fight Khabib in Russia. Send
Tony wouldn't care.
George over there. He can do it.
George?
Would
Yeah.
George go
No.
to Russia?
No,
Yeah, why not?
I don't think. John Jones would love to go to Russia, but I don't think
And fight
George.
Khabib. Sounds like a good plan, AJ. Who's John Jones fighting? Like, what's the deal here? If DC's
told you who he's gonna fight.
Brock Lesnar.
Well, Brock would be nice to have back, but I don't think that's gonna happen anymore.
Isn't Brock gonna be on SmackDown?
Yeah, Brock's gonna be on SmackDown like next Friday.
New champion?
Probably. He's gonna beat Kofi.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. It's Brock Lesnar, man.
Enough of that Kofi.
I knew you wouldn't be on Kofi's side, AJ. I knew it. Jack Hermanson taking on Jared Cannonier in the main event of UFC Copenhagen this Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
Hermanson minus 240, the favorite. Cannonier plus 200, the underdog. Is there anything on this card you really want to see?
Well, that's not a bad fight, Dave. When you think about it, you got two guys that beat like the two legendary fighters. You have one guy that beat Anderson Silva, another guy that beat Jacare. These guys are like, they're legit, man. Like, I think it's a good fight. Then you got Gunnar Nelson against Gilbert Burns. I think that'll be a good fight. You have Ovin St. Preux.
Look,
on the card.
As far as Hermanson, he was impressive against Jacare. I'll give him a lot of props, but I need him to win another big fight. So this is good. If it beats Cannonier, I'm gonna start giving Hermanson a lot of props. But for right now, nice win with Jacare. I want to see a little bit more. As for Cannonier, I mean, he defeated an old Anderson Silva. I'm not going to give him that much props for it.
It's still Anderson Silva.
Look, it's a nice little matchup. These two guys are important.
I need more. I need to see more.
What do you want to see, Dave?
It's good for a European card, like as a main event. But I mean,
is it?
I mean, they've probably done worse.
I don't know. This is pretty weak for a main event, even for a Europe card in the afternoon. It's pretty weak. I mean, Yair Rodriguez, Jeremy Stevens is a better main event. The main event we have next week, Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya on pay-per-view. Way better main event. The fight after that is Joanna Jędrzejczyk against Michelle Waterson. Way better main event on a Fight Pass or ESPN Plus deal, you know. Dominic Reyes, Chris Weidman, better main event coming up after that. Like every other main event in September, October is better than this card coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, but these are the cards.
Every other fight.
These are always the cards that we're like not really promoting, and we're like, well, not me really. It's mostly Dave Simon. But the thing is that
AJ, if you're not like on our personal group chat on Saturday, if you're not chatting and giving us your opinions, I'm gonna be calling you out next week.
What do you mean?
Thank you. Because
I'm telling you,
we all know that as much as I'm dismissing this fight card, I will be the only one actually watching this thing. You won't be watching. You might be watching.
I'll watch the main card.
You might watch the main card.
It, man.
I'll probably watch the whole thing.
It's an afternoon. Like I love my European sports because I follow soccer only because it happens at hours where I'm not sleeping. You know, the game starts at like 11 a.m. I love that.
That's right.
Wake and bake.
If you want
sports,
if you want Fred to follow your sport,
start at 11.
It better be over by 9 p.m.
Yeah. I wish I lived on the West Coast sometimes, because if I was like in...
How are you a UFC fan?
A lot of products.
I mean, you're not drinking coffee anymore. How do you stay awake for these pay-per-views?
Often I'll do a nap, like in the afternoon, if there's a good UFC. But like most of these small events, I'm gonna catch it on rerun the next day. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna stay up until like it depends. If it starts at 8 p.m., I might watch it.
Well, this one starts at 2 p.m.
Okay,
Eastern.
because you see, last week it started I think at 8 p.m. So that was a decent card, but I still fell asleep for the main event.
Yeah, there you go. but this one afternoon, 2 p.m. main card starts, so it's easy.
I'll guarantee I'll be up for that Israel Adesanya Robert Whittaker fight. I'm up for that. That's a fight that's gonna keep me awake.
We doing a party for that?
I don't think so.
All right. Maybe me and AJ will have a party.
Yeah, what happened, Fred?
Where's Fred
I'm trying to think. I have something on October 6th during the day.
October 6th.
Well, this is at night, brother.
I might be busy.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. All right, we're out of time, guys.
Already?
We're over time. Yeah, we got to go.
Did we forget anything? We got the Bagel guy in. We got
the Bagel guy.
Saved by the Bell.
We're good.
All we need is somebody to fight from the
next week, we preview UFC 243. Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya, the middleweight championship of the world. Ally Quinta, Dan Hooker in the co-main event. Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington on this thing. That's going to be a good card.
Dave.
One fight I am looking forward to, though, on this UFC Denmark before we wrap up. Mark Diakiese against Lando Venata. It's the second fight on the card. That's going to be really fun on the prelims. That's going to be an exciting fight.
Dave, one
What?
thing. The fight is in Australia next week.
Yeah,
Would it be okay, Fred, with you if I dress up as Crocodile Dundee for that fight?
I think it'd be fine.
There you go. Politically correct.
I guess.
You sure?
I don't know.
I'm doing
We'll
it
see.
anyways.
For those watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. For those listening to us on TSN 690 or on ringsidereport.net, thank you very much. Check us out online. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and all that good stuff. Also, check out our website, ringsidereport.net. Go to our official website, www.ringsidereport.net, for all the videos, all the action, Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report, all the things are all there.
Can
And
you
that's
repeat
it.
that again, Dave? I'm
No.
sorry I missed it.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Freddie at Freddie MMA, and follow AJ at Danny Bruck on all the things. For Freddie and AJ, I'm Dave. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been Ringside
Report.
Report.
Port.